Have you ever woke up in the morning and thought, man, I'd love to get sued today? Yeah, me neither. Well, that might actually be happening to me. I got a nice little nastygram from a company that I did a review on one of their products. Now they want to sue me. So in this video, I'm going to break down the entire letter that I received from the company. We're going to see if they even have a case or not. And if they decide they want to sue me, they're going to have to send it. So if you don't know me and you're not familiar with this channel, let me take a second to introduce myself before we get into the potential lawsuit. My name is Chris. I'm the host of a small YouTube channel called It Jon Boats. We have about 50,000 subscribers. I've been doing YouTube for a few years. My YouTube channel focuses on teaching people how to build their own John boat or take an old John boat and make it really nice. And a lot of the motors that I use on these John boats are mud motors because that is what I like and it's what I have the most knowledge in. This YouTube channel is not my job. I do not do this for a living. What I do for a living is I am one of the co-owners of Tiny Boat Nation Southeast here in Georgia. So what we do here at Tiny Boat Nation is we customize people's boats. We install products for them if they want lights or turf or any kind of boat accessories. That is what we do. So that's what I do for a living. But my YouTube channel is just my passion. It's what I enjoy doing, and I enjoy teaching others stuff about boats. I do it in a little bit different way because that was my goal when I originally started my YouTube channel. Is I didn't want to be like every other YouTube channel out there. I wanted to be myself. I wanted to be goofy. I wanted to have some humor mixed in. I wanted to be entertaining, but I still wanted to teach people things. And anytime that I buy a product that I am going to use on one of my boat builds for my YouTube channel, I do a product review on it, and I do it in a very easy to understand and just plain English talk. And yeah, we joke around and have fun, but what people have always depended on me for is to give really honest feedback on stuff that I purchased. I do not do brand deals. I do not do contract deals. I do not accept products from vendors without telling them, hey, if you want to send me a product for review, I'll gladly do the review, but you cannot pay me for the review. I'm going to take whatever it is that you give me. I'm going to abuse the heck out of it. I'm going to push it to its limits. But whenever I make a review video, I make very certain that the entirety of the video is the factual experience that I had from using whatever product it is. And then at the end of the video, I'll give my opinion to my viewers or anybody that finds that video and say, hey, if this is something that I recommend you spend your money on, go for it. That way the audience gets to decide whether they want to spend their money or not because they saw the facts of my experience with the product, and they also heard my opinion and they can draw their own opinion from what they saw. So that's me. That's who I am. That's my business. And that's my YouTube channel. You know everything there is to know. There's no hidden agenda here, not getting paid behind the scenes by anybody. I'm just a regular dude who works a job. I like making YouTube videos on boat stuff, and I like to do it in an entertaining and funny way. And not everybody finds it funny, and that's okay. I'm not trying to please the entire world. So last week, first week in December of 2025, our customer service team here at Tiny Boat Nation received an email from somebody who was asking to speak to the CEO of the company referencing a potential lawsuit. That email was forwarded over to Ryan, who is my business partner and is also a co-owner here at Tiny Boat Nation, who gave the email to me. Now I'm going to read this email in its entirety to you and show it to you here on the screen. For legal reasons, I'm not going to use the name of the company that sent this letter, and I'm not going to use the name of the person who wrote the letter. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to refer to the person that wrote this email as Scooter. We're also going to refer to the name of the company as Scooter's Mud Motor, just for legal reasons. Hope you're following. So here is the email. I am the founder of Scooter Mud Motors. I personally hold a patent on a product called the Scooter Mud Motor. It is made in China. We have been dealing with this company for 25 years or more. Recently, another company in China has been copying the original design and selling them on Amazon. We are currently in contact with Amazon for infringing our patent, but these knockoff companies keep changing their vendor name on Amazon. Unfortunately, their product is very substandard. We get the blame for the defects, but it's not our product, and their customers expect us to warranty, provide technical support, and sell spares to them. We are compiling much information in our impending lawsuit. Recently, Chris Simmons from It Jon Boats, that's me, has done a video of his review, in quote, of the Scooter Mud Motor. There are several things that are very disturbing in this. Number one, he goes to great lengths to explain how rusty the product is. We're talking about rash rust on things like washers and nuts. Here's a product that, like most of our competitors, is made of steel, then spends its life in water, sometimes brackish. Simmons doesn't grease anything during assembly. Anyone with an engineering sense would have done that, considering the environment. We've been selling these mud motors for 20 years and corrosion has never been an issue. He makes a big deal out of a chip in the paint about the size of a pea. Number 2, he puts the machine through a test, driving the propeller into a wooden pallet for about a minute, then into a cinder block. These machines aren't supposed to run in the dry, so what does this prove? It's a joke, most unscientific, and it proves nothing. It's just theatrics. Number 3, there's a link to a Facebook post, and then it says, according to Simmons, the scooter mud motor is infamous. Oxford Dictionary says, well known for some bad quality or deed. That is a bad start already. Number 4, there is a picture of the thumbnail that I used for this particular mud motor review video that's in question. It says C35.56. Not really sure what that's about. Then there is a picture of a screenshot from the end of the video, which I will explain in more detail here in just a second. The email says at the end of his YouTube video, he claims the poster to be me. In fact, I don't post on Instagram or TikTok. Then he has the gall to tell me to f off and that I'm stupid. He makes another bad taste joke about the crack of your butt. His mind is in the gutter. Disgusting. More sexual vulgarity regarding the screwdriver in the kit. He takes the scooter shaft, puts it between his legs, and jigs it up and down with a mention to a mother enjoying it. What sort of behavior is that? It's certainly not funny. Does your company condone this sort of thing? He intends to do a comparison of the scooter mud motor to the knockoffs. These units are illegal, and we are suing Amazon and vendors over this. The actions of Mr. Simmons could involve your business in our lawsuit. Even if it doesn't, it's likely to affect our sales. He's already proposing Amazon are selling their knockoffs at $200, an implication being that we are crooks. But everyone will be directed to Amazon and our sales will be seriously affected, causing a considerable loss of profits. This entire fiasco is very unprofessional and defamatory. Clickbait designed to provide income to Simmons. I'd suggest you get this video removed, don't post any more about us, and get Simmons to issue an apology. Scooter. So we're going to break this down one by one, every single line in this. We're going to find out if he's actually got a case or not. But before we do that, I need to change into some more appropriate clothing. That is much better. Hope everyone can get a good look at that. This is the kind of fun and entertaining stuff that I do on my channel. All right, let's jump into this. So first off, this particular mud motor company, I have done 3 total reviews in the last several years on their products, 2 of which I paid my own hard-earned money for. The very first one I did was a comparison video between the 3 most popular long-tail mud motors out on the market at the time. And in that video, I talked about this particular company's mud motor, and I actually had quite a few good things to say about it. At the end of the video, I actually recommended that if people wanted to buy it, they could, because it was the cheapest out of the 3 that I tested. For the second video, this person that wrote this email actually reached out to me, called me on the phone, and asked me if I wanted to review another one of their products, which is a clutch. They sent me the clutch free of charge. I did not pay for it, and I did not accept any kind of contract offer from them. There was no affiliate sales. There was no affiliate marketing involved in this. It was literally, they just sent me the clutch. I made a video on it. I tried to destroy it, and it didn't get destroyed. It actually held up very well. And I had good things to say about the clutch in that video. And when I do review videos, I'm super critical of this stuff. You know, people are going to spend their hard-earned money on stuff. I want them to see if it has any kind of issues or any flaws, or if I have any experiences with it, I want to tell people about it. I don't sugarcoat the reviews. I tell people like it is. And in the clutch review, I did have one very minor issue with the clutch where it wouldn't stop spinning the prop all the way. And I told people in that video, it may just be mine. It may just be this particular one. And it wasn't even a big deal. I just wanted people to be aware of it because it actually happened to me. I wanted them to know what my actual experience was with that particular product. And the third video review I did was on this particular Mud Motors company, Mud Motor, and I did not reach out to them. They did not reach out to me. I purchased this with my own money because I was genuinely curious on how this thing would work. The reason that I was curious about if it would work or not, or if it was even a good mud motor, is because of the amount of negative things that I had seen about it on the internet. And I'm not just pulling things out of my butt here. I actually saw them and I can provide proof. Here is a post on this company's own Facebook group where someone wrote, "Mine broke after a year, sent it back and they welded it back on. Unfortunately, they didn't remove the shaft or bushings before welding, so I'm expected to have problems on this first run. Definitely not happy with customer service. Boat's been down for a month waiting. We'll see how everything goes this weekend." Here's another post in their own Facebook group where someone said, "Junk it, buy something decent." Here's another one in the same post. "You get what you pay for." Here's another post, again, from their Facebook group where somebody wrote, Find a very deep bayou, unbolt scooter's mud motor, and toss it overboard. Had one. Worst excuse ever for a boat engine. Those are all real posts from real people that are not me. So that was why I went and bought it in the first place. I wanted to see if it really worked or not. And I wanted to be someone that people can trust on YouTube to do an honest review on it, which is exactly what I did. So in this last video review I did, I had an overall good impression of the product. During the course of the video, everything that I experienced, I shared, the good and the not so good. And there wasn't a lot of things that were not good. I had a couple of issues which we'll go through and address because that's what the email is about. But overall, the video impression that everyone should have received based on what I said and the opinion that I gave was that it was a good product and I actually liked it. And I even went as far as to recommend it to people and say, hey, if you are this kind of boater and you use it in these kind of situations, you should definitely buy this product. It will be a good product for you. In this email, it explains that the product that I reviewed has a patent on it. I did not know that. I do know just from seeing it on Amazon, there's a lot of knockoff versions of this product that are being sold on Amazon for a lot cheaper. And my curiosity was piqued because the real one's a lot more expensive than the knockoff. And that's why I wanted to do a comparison video. I did not know that there was a patent on this product. And I have a friend that went through a patent process on his product. I know how expensive it is. I know how much time and effort it takes. So for that, I completely understand. But the way to handle that as a company is not to reach out and threaten to sue me over it. The way to do it is, hey, we have a patent on that. I don't know if you know this or not, but we're having a lot of problems with Amazon. Maybe you could do a video to help us. And I would have been glad to do that. I am all for people that spend their hard-earned money and their time to get a patent on something that they invented. That's awesome. I can appreciate that. And I would have gladly done anything I could to help them. But instead of trying to approach this in a reasonable way, they just send me an email and tell me they're going to sue me for something that we're going to find out here shortly. They can't even sue me for. In this email, he makes a comment about anyone with engineering sense. Well, I don't have any engineering sense because I'm not an engineer. That's right. I do not have an engineering degree, but I do have 2 degrees. This one is in law enforcement, and this one right here is in criminal justice. And just for everyone's information, in case you were wondering, when I finished these degrees, I was actually studying to go to law school. And then I decided, who wants to argue with people all day long when you could just go build John boats for a living? And that's what I did. So you want to talk about laws and lawsuits? I'm your guy. Engineering? Not my thing. So if you're not familiar with the term defamation, which is what they are claiming that I did, defamation is the act of communicating false statements about a person to damage his or her reputation. And in order for someone to be sued for defamation, there are quite a few elements of that particular tort that need to be met in order for the case to be valid. Number one is it has to be done through a manner of slander or libel, which in my case it is going to be libel because I did this on the internet for everyone to see. The second thing is there has to be a factual false statement made. So that means I would have had to say something that is actually false, which brings you to number 3, that false statement has to actually cause damages to the plaintiff or the person that is being defamed. There's a few more little nuances to it, but there's one other big part is when you're a public figure, which me being a YouTuber with 50,000 subscribers and kind of being not a subject matter expert, but someone that people look to for review videos on mud motors, that makes me a public figure in this instance. But in order for a defamation case against a public figure to be valid, plaintiff would have to show that the public figure had actual malice against the plaintiff. If you don't know, malice is just a fancy word for hatred. They would have to prove that I had some kind of documented hatred towards them in order for this case to go through. So all that being said, number one, nothing that I said in the video was false. I shared my actual true experience with the product. I gave my opinion at the end, which opinions are protected under defamation laws. But more importantly, as a public figure, they have no way to prove that I had any malice or hatred towards them, considering that I have a history of 3 videos in a row now using their products where I actually recommended them and said good things about them. Now, I did have some criticism towards the product. They weren't super negative, and I didn't recommend that people not buy them. I didn't do anything to cause them any damage to their business. I showed people what my actual real true experience was so that people could make a decision on their own if they wanted to buy the product. And then when I gave my opinion on all 3 of them, I actually recommended for people to buy them. Absolutely no way for them to establish any hate or malice in this case. Point number one that was made in the email is that he goes into great lengths to explain how rusty the product is. We're talking about rash rust on things like washers and nuts. Here's a product like most of our competitors is made of steel, spends its life in the water, sometimes brackish. Simmons doesn't grease anything during assembly. Show of hands in the comments for anyone watching this. Who has ever greased a bolt before they put it into a mud motor or anything ever? Nobody does that. And it wasn't in the instructions that I needed to grease a bolt. Now, what they said in this is actually false. It said that Simmons doesn't grease anything during assembly. Well, here's a shot from the video of me greasing the inside of the coupler shaft like it said in the instructions. And you can actually see in this close-up when I was showing some of the problems that I had during installation that I ended up figuring out on my own, and I didn't even say anything negative about it, you can see all of the grease inside the coupler of this. So the allegation that I didn't grease anything considering the environment is false. So then it goes on to say, we've been selling these mud motors for about 20 years and corrosion has never been an issue. That is an actual false statement. And the reason that I can say that that is absolutely false is because I have evidence to provide right here that shows that is not true. Here is a post from this company's own Facebook group where someone is asking about the corrosion problems on their mud motor. And they even provided a picture where there is a considerable amount of corrosion on the bolts and on the bearing that is on this particular mud motor. And I can identify that this mud motor is made by this mud motor company because I own it and I know that that is the exact same product. And why provide one piece of evidence when you can provide multiple? Here is another post from their Facebook group from another customer of theirs who is asking about corrosion and how to stop it on their mud motor. And another customer responded to that post and said, I noticed corrosion starting on the coupling just above the prop when I changed it. And then another person also responded on that exact same post and said, I've been going in salt marshes and I got an incredible amount of rust last year. Not trying to help stop it before I lost all my stuff. Now, the rust that I had on my product, I showed during use. And after the first time I noticed rust, I actually put a portion of the video in there explaining how I was going to try to prevent it from rusting, at which time I greased all of the parts that were rusting. And I showed how to grease them so that people, if they decided to buy this product, wouldn't have the same rust issues that I did. And the rust on the bolts, I actually recommended people, if you buy this product, just spend a few extra dollars and replace the hardware with something that doesn't rust, which again disproves this email where it says that I didn't grease anything, because I actually showed it in the video. And even though I don't really like stuff that I spend my hard-earned money on that's supposed to be in water rusting, I still recommended the product to people at the end of the video. And I, again, cautioned them, if you buy it, just make sure that you replace the hardware. That's what I would do if I was going to buy this again. In point number one, it said he makes a big deal out of a chip in the paint about the size of the P. If you go back and watch the video, I actually talked about it in the beginning of the video. I wasn't criticizing this mud motor company for my product getting damaged. I criticized FedEx. And I actually made a joke about it because I know that FedEx doesn't like to pick up heavy packages. Instead, they kick them off the back of the truck or throw them out of the back of the truck, which is what caused the damage, which is a very small chip in my paint. It wasn't a dig or a joke or anything towards this mud motor company. It was a joke towards FedEx because I know that they don't treat packages very well, and that's how the package got damaged. Issue number two in the email that was brought up is the test that I did on the mud motor. It says that I drove the propeller into a wooden pallet for about a minute and then a cinder block. These machines aren't supposed to run in the dry, so what does this prove? It's a joke. Most unscientific and proves nothing. It's just theatrics. Actually, it was not theatrics at all, and I explained in the video that I was trying to replicate worst case scenarios. I wanted to torture test this product and see if it would hold up to extreme abuse. Because when I buy something, I spend my hard-earned money on it, and it's something that I know that I'm going to take out into the woods and it's going to get used heavily. I want to know that it can handle the abuse that I'm going to put it through. So I did this test, and yes, I did do it on dry ground, and yes, I did cut a cinder block in half, and yes, I did cut a pallet. Even though that's not what it's designed for, that's not the point. The point was to provide a really harsh environment torture test of the product and see if it would survive. So what I proved was that it could survive it. And I even said in the video, I was very surprised that even after all of the damage that I tried to cause to the product, it made it through. I was happy about it. And I recommended that people buy it because I was so impressed of how well it did during my torture testing. I don't do torture testing for theatrics. I do it because A lot of people don't want to ruin their stuff when they buy it to find out if it can really handle some extreme conditions. So I do it and I film it so that I can show people, hey, this is a good product because it handled some really, really tough conditions and some extreme torture testing. It may not be exactly scientific, but it did serve a purpose. It wasn't just for theatrics or to get views on YouTube. Point number 3 in the email said that I called the infamous, which I did. And it said that the Oxford Dictionary says that infamous means is well known for some bad quality or deed. If your own Facebook group has people posting in it, telling people to throw it overboard, like I provided in the evidence before in the screenshots from their Facebook group, that's not a good look. That is people outwardly expressing on your own company Facebook page saying that your product is junk and belongs in the bottom of a river or a lake. So yes, I did call it infamous, and I didn't mean it in a bad or demeaning term. I said infamous because I wanted to see if it was really what all the people on the internet said it was, and it wasn't. And I showed that in the video, and I gave a really good recommendation in the video for people to buy the product, even though it was known as infamous. Now, point number 4 in the email talks about the end of my YouTube videos. And before I go over this point, you need to understand something. At the end of all of my videos, I do a satire section. We call it the haters corner. What I do at the end of every single video is I stand in a corner and I go through comments on my last videos and I say, let's see who was the most butthurt. And what I do is I find comments where people were talking crap about me or making fun of me or said negative things about me or the videos that I make, and then I roast them. It's called satire. It is making fun of how stupid people can be and their idiocy when they post it on the internet. And I do it through a humorous manner. And I explain that at the end of every video. It's not meant to hurt anyone's feelings. It's just calling out the people that are stupid on the internet and having a little laugh about it. Now, in this particular review video, my haters corner, at the end of the video, I did a small satire section on a comment that I received on another video, the one that I did about the clutch from this same exact company. Well, the comment that I received was from the person that wrote this email. Now, I'm claiming that that person that made that comment on the clutch video is the person that wrote this email because of a few things. One, their icon picture on the comment was a picture of their face, and I know what their face looks like. Also, the username for that account was this person's name. It's not like they tried to hide it, but regardless, in every single one of my haters corners at the satire section that I do at the end of the video, before I even start, I explain the exact same thing every single time. We know that people on the internet are super extra sensitive, so I don't use their real names. We just call them Scooter. Everything is anonymous. And anytime that I get one of these comments where they're making fun of me or talking crap about me, I screenshot the comment and I keep it so that I can use it for the Scooter Corner in the next video. If you want to see the entire haters corner where I talked about Scooter's comments and I made fun of him and I said some what they consider disgusting jokes about them, you can go watch that. But that is all anonymous because I never said this person's name in that video. I referred to the person that made the comment as Scooter. Now, the comment that was made in the clutch video that I responded to in this video that's about this email was a comment directed at me about operator error, basically insinuating that I'm an idiot because I don't know how to work a clutch, when in fact there is zero operator input on this particular clutch. It's a centrifugal clutch that works off of the RPM of the motor. And what I said in the haters corner section of the video that we're talking about in this email, the one that they're threatening to sue me over and want me to take off of YouTube, what I said was there's a chance that this person that left this comment may or may not be associated with this company. And I don't think that it's a very good look for someone from that company to be making fun publicly of people on the internet that have bought their products. So when I made that review video and I said the good things about the product that I said, I don't think it's appropriate for the company or maybe somebody that might be affiliated with the company to get on my YouTube channel and start talking crap about me when I'm doing them a favor and doing a good product review for them so that they can sell more products, because I genuinely thought it was a decent product and I hope that they do sell more of them. The person that wrote this email apparently thinks my mind is in the gutter and that I'm disgusting. Well, I hate that they feel that way, but my humor is not for everyone, and that's okay. So moving on in the email, talk about the sexual vulgarity regarding the screwdriver in the kit and the motion I made with the shaft of this mud motor, talking about your mother enjoying it. Those are called jokes. My channel is a humorous channel. It's an entertaining channel. I do a lot of jokes and satire and humor because it is entertaining and people like watching it. And I want people to watch my review videos or watch any of my videos for that matter and enjoy themselves while they are watching it. And if they don't like my humor, that's perfectly okay. And the email says, what sort of behavior is that? It's certainly not funny. Does your company condone this sort of thing? Well, as one of the owners of this company, I can tell you that we absolutely do condone people being themselves. And if they want to be goofy and humorous, more power to them. Now, all customers may not feel this way, but I get a lot of response from our customers here at Tiny Boat Nation that say they appreciate the fact that when they watch one of my videos, they know that I'm a real person. I'm not some salesman. I'm not trying to push a product on them that I don't believe in or I don't think is right. I'm not out here just trying to make money. I want people to enjoy the things that they buy. And I think that our customers appreciate the realness of the videos that I do. And if they all don't agree with my humor or don't like my humor, there's plenty of other YouTube channels out there to go watch. But as far as me and Tiny Boat Nation goes, yeah, we absolutely condone people being themselves. And if they want to be funny and goofy, they can do that. Next in the email, it says that I intended to do a comparison of the scooter mud motor versus the knockoff, and these units are illegal, blah, 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 and they're suing Amazon and other vendors over this. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, had I known that there was a patent on the product and had they reached out to me in a reasonable manner and said, hey, we have a problem with people infringing on our patent, I would have, as a public figure, done everything I can to make other people aware of that because I wasn't aware of it. And I also don't agree with that. I don't like people knocking off other people's products that they worked hard to invent and spent a lot of time and money to get a patent attorney and go through the patent process, because I personally know from my friend that went through that process how difficult and expensive that is. So the appropriate way to handle that situation with me, especially as a person who has a YouTube channel that's in this genre, like my specific category of YouTube deals with mud motors. If you wanted people to be aware of the patent and the problems that you're having with knockoffs in China and Amazon, I would be a great person to relay that information to other people. The way that you do that is not saying the actions of Mr. Simmons are going to involve your business in our lawsuit. Even if it doesn't, it's likely to affect our sales, which is absolutely false. Everything that I said in the video was truthful, and I recommended the product. I had good things to say about it. Even though I was critical of some small things about the product, I still overall had a good opinion of the product, and I recommended it to people. How that would affect your sales in a manner that's any way other than positive, I can't make sense out of that. And then they went on to say that I'm unprofessional and defamatory, which we have, in this case, proven that no defamatory statements were made by me at all. Maybe a little bit unprofessional in some people's opinion, but in mine, I'm not unprofessional. But again, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm just a guy on YouTube that makes videos, and it's not clickbait designed to provide income to me. Clickbait is something that people click on and they receive a video or a post or information that is not what was originally advertised to them in either a thumbnail or a video title. My video showed that I was doing a video review of a mud motor product, and that is exactly what I did. I did a video review of this particular mud motor, and I gave an honest, real, true review of the experience that I had with it and gave people my opinion at the end of it. And as far as what they mentioned in the email about this clickbait designed to provide income to Simmons, let me explain something to you. And I'll show this right here for the entire world to see. In the last 2 months, that video has made $130. That is, the entire time this video has been live on YouTube, it's made $130. I paid over $900 for the product out of my own money. It wasn't given to me. I highly doubt this video is ever even going to make my money back for what I spent to do the review. To sit here and claim that I make clickbait videos designed to provide income to me is completely false. I do this because I'm passionate about it and I love it. The money is just a side benefit, and it doesn't even cover my expenses to make the videos. So the next thing in the email says, I suggest you get this video removed, which will absolutely not be happening. Don't post any more about us, which also will not be happening because I'm making this video right now. But what action I am going to take from this email is I have removed the portion of that video where I talked about potentially doing a side-by-side comparison of the knockoff version versus the real version of this mud motor. Because again, I don't think that knockoffs are right. I don't agree with patent infringement, and I don't want to be a part of that. So that entire section of the video has been completely removed, and I have no intent to ever compare that knockoff product to the original product. And then it goes on to say that get Simmons to issue an apology. The only apology that I can honestly give is that I'm sorry to the mud motor community that we have companies in this space that use bullying tactics like this email to try to get videos of honest reviews removed. I had always hoped that being in this Jon Boat space and in this mud motor space here on YouTube, that I would never have to deal with a situation like this. I spent my own money on a product. I worked really, really hard to do a good review for people and make it entertaining so that people could watch it. And I liked the product. I had good things to say about it. I was critical of the things that needed to be criticized, but it was constructive criticism. I provided some humor and entertainment to people. I never in my wildest dreams thought that company would be threatening to sue me over trying to help them sell their product and showcase their product to the entire world. So for that, to the mud motor community, I am very sorry that we now have identified a company in this space that is willing to use bullying tactics and lawsuits and threats of lawsuits to get videos taken off of YouTube. For that, I am very sorry. To this company that wrote this email and to the person that wrote this email, I am 100% not sorry for anything that I said. So I will never say sorry for being honest. And if I was to say sorry just because you asked me to or else you're going to sue me, is me admitting that I am at some type of fault. And I'm not at fault. I didn't do anything wrong. I have provided my evidence here in this video, and I'm really just overall saddened at the fact that this is something that I have to worry about now as I go forward making YouTube videos. Am I going to get sued every time that I make a review video and I'm honest? Because that's what the world needs, is more honesty. They need more YouTubers like me that will go out, purchase a product, not be paid to do a review, not be given free crap and told, hey, you need to make this a good video for us. And I shouldn't have to think in the back of my head with everything that I say here on YouTube, am I going to get sued for being honest? It is just absolutely disheartening and saddening. Am I going to let it stop me from making YouTube videos? No. I actually have another video coming on another product that this company makes. This will be my 4th video, and it's a product that I purchased with my own money. And if you think that I'm going to let the threat of a lawsuit stop me from making another review video, you have absolutely lost your mind. Now, if this company decides that they want to file a lawsuit against me and get it dismissed, because it would absolutely get dismissed based on all the evidence that I provided in this video. But let's just say they were to sue me. This is what they're suing against. I do not own a home. I have no 401k or any retirement accounts that are sitting on a large sum of money. My truck is a 2003 Dodge Ram pickup truck with almost 300,000 miles on it. It's probably worth $1,000 at best. My boat is a 1970s model low Jon boat that I bought for $800. I own quite a few mud motors, which all valued together would probably be $1,000 or $2,000 on the used market, 3 of which belong to this company in question. My business doesn't own this property. We lease this warehouse, and all of my business assets are right here behind me. They're just tools. If you were to add all of them together and sell them right now, you wouldn't even have enough money to pay the retainer fee for your attorney. If you're really that concerned about a lawsuit, there it is, plain as day. That's what you would get out of me. Basically nothing. In closing, I would like to quote the famous lyrics of Alice in Chains. Yeah, they've come to stop the rooster. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, here come the rooster. And no, he ain't gonna die.